We do have new polls from three key battleground states. The latest Marist poll of likely voters in Arizona finds former President Donald Trump ahead of Vice President Kamala Harris 50% to 49%.
Of course, the New York Times Siena poll had Donald Trump up 73 points a couple of days ago.
It's the same
Shocking
story.
It was an outlier.
With likely voters in Georgia, where the latest Marist poll from there also finds Trump ahead 50 to 49%.
1 point. Okay.
North Carolina, Trump and Harris deadlocked 49% each. All of these polls fall within their margins of error.
Really, it is shocking news. We should put breaking news at the bottom here. This election is tied. And I will say, I'm almost getting the feeling, I don't want anybody to throw tomatoes at me. I almost get the feeling that if Joe Biden had somehow managed to stay in the race, it would still be tied. Donald Trump's numbers aren't moving. It's just how many people eventually find their way back to the Democratic Party.
Yeah, it sure looks that way. There's also some Emerson polls that just came through, by the way, that show Texas is within 5 points. I mean, obviously a long shot for a Democrat, and that Colin Aldred is hanging very close to Ted Cruz in that Senate race, which has become fascinating. Also, that in places when Joe Biden was on the ticket, and this might be the difference, that we're starting to look like they might be in play for Donald Trump, that they have now gone back, sort of reverted to the mean, that Kamala Harris in Virginia, for example, is up by 8 or 9 points this morning. So maybe that's the difference there. But yeah, you're right. It's going to be neck and neck. Donald Trump has his people locked in. He was making a speech in North Carolina yesterday about the economy. It was more of the same. It was at a pipe manufacturing plant near Charlotte. He spoke for over an hour, veering off course as he does. At one point, went on a long tangent about his personal experiences of buying furniture in North Carolina, prompting even Fox News to cut away from his speech.
North Carolina was once the beating heart of American manufacturing. I know it very well. I was here many times to buy furniture for buildings. I'd come and I'd look, and there was nobody like the Craftsman of North Carolina. It was filled with companies like this one and known everywhere for its incredible craftsmanship and skill. I know from personal experience, though, that I was a big buyer. I bought a lot of things here. That there was no place for furniture in particular, like North Carolina. You were the furniture capital of the world, but now so much of that business has been stolen from you, and it's made in China and other places. And by the way, it's not as good. The quality is nowhere near. You made furniture. You bought a chair. It was good for 30 years. You buy some of these chairs that they sell you now, they break after about 2 months. People are laying on the floor, suing you for giving them bad chair. Then on top of it all, our government keeps them out. Then on top of it all, you get sued because they fell out of a chair at a hotel. Boy, oh boy, you made the best product. You made the best furniture. After the twin betrayals of NAFTA, which I ended, and China's entry into the WTO, World Trade, North Carolina lost over 300,000 manufacturing jobs quickly, including 60% of its furniture manufacturing jobs, and that number was going up until I came along.
All right, well, we're going to continue to watch this. We carried this economic speech in its entirety for almost an hour and a half yesterday. We're told that the rest of the speech will very much echo what we heard yesterday.
Will echo buying furniture in North Carolina. Willie, the thing that we have to grasp here is that this race is still tied.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at that. You're like, wait, we're tied. That guy, Mr. Shark, Mr. Hannibal Lecter, And I will say, I moved to amend my previous remarks. You bring up some great points. I mean, Joe Biden was seeing numbers in Minnesota, in Virginia, in New Hampshire get too close for comfort there. So you may be right. There is, I said there may be no difference. Maybe no difference in Donald Trump's number, but difference in how quickly people were getting back to the Democratic ticket. Yeah. But you are right. You look at Texas, that race is within 5, and in most polls we see Ted Cruz is in the margin of error in most of the recent polls we've seen. Florida also a pretty tight race. Word is that Chuck Schumer is thinking about burying a lot of money in Florida, hoping to take out the Florida senator there, a Republican senator there. So it has gotten, some of these battleground states have gotten tighter, old battleground states, and some new ones are getting put in play.
Yeah, the investing in Florida, in Texas, and places maybe they wouldn't be investing in a couple of months ago. And let's not forget, Kamala Harris, since she moved to the top of the ticket, has raised gobs of money for the Democratic Party and energized the base to go out and knock on doors and put up yard signs and do all of those things. You do have to laugh, though, Joe, about Donald Trump. The idea that when he was running his terrible casinos in Atlantic City, he was going down to North Carolina and hand-picking the furniture that would be in every hotel room. I want that. And talking to the craftsmen about what they did. But then he worried about the lawsuits later when people would fall off of the Chinese-made chairs. These are
yes, exactly.
relatable problems that we all have.
We
Let's bring in the conversation.